Hi, friends. So, I just watched Kody Brown's debut on Special Forces World's Toughest Test, and I have to be honest with you. I'm not sick. I'm not even surprised. I am just validated. I feel completely and totally validated. We just watched this man, fresh off the complete implosion of his 30-year family, a man who has lost 3 wives and alienated most of his children, show up on the world's toughest reality show. And what is his reason? What is the grand, noble cause for this public spectacle? He says he's there to prove his manhood. He says he wants to show his children that he can still do the impossible. He's standing there, a man who has caused so much pain, painting himself as a victim of hell and public criticism. He's talking about his kids, the same kids he was ambivalent about, the ones he refused to show up for. And all I could think, watching him say that with a straight face, was, "Are you kidding me? You want to show your children you can do the impossible? You're the man who couldn't do the possible. You couldn't show up for your daughter's surgery. You couldn't show up for your sons during a pandemic. You couldn't even be a present father in your own home. But now you're going to run up a muddy hill for them on camera?" The disconnect is it's staggering. But this isn't just a disconnect. It's a performance. Kody has stepped out of the Flagstaff bubble, the one Robin helped him build, where he was the king. He has stepped into a world with no wives to manage, no Robin to hide behind, and no tell-all host to charm. He has willingly entered a world where his brand of patriarchy is completely, utterly useless. And the thing about Kody is he can't keep the mask on for long. The truth doesn't stay buried. And Kody, in his infinite arrogance, just handed us the shovel himself. He didn't even last one day before he exposed the entire reason his family failed. He gave us the whole game. He's talking to the camera, and he says, "I'm going to be sexist. Men want to be respected, and women want to be loved." My jaw dropped. This is it. This is the kill shot. This is the entire broken, toxic, narcissistic philosophy that poisoned his family, all summed up in one proud, sexist sentence. This isn't just a gaffe, you guys. This is his entire worldview. This is the confession we have been waiting 18 seasons for. He is telling us, point blank, that he lives in a world where the rules are different for him. He requires respect. He demands it. But women, they just want to be loved. And we know what Kody's love looks like. It's conditional. It's transactional. It's something he withholds as punishment. This one sentence validates everything Christine said when she left. She didn't just leave because he stopped loving her. She left because he treated her with zero respect. And in his mind, she wasn't entitled to it anyway. This validates Janelle, who he steamrolled and financially ruined, all while demanding she respect his patriarchal authority. He demanded respect from women he clearly, by his own admission, sees as lesser than him. He doesn't see women as partners. He sees them as emotional support pets who are required to admire him. He wasn't just describing a philosophy. He was confessing to the crime. His plural marriage didn't fail because of Christine's betrayal or Janelle's disloyalty. It failed because it was built on this one-sided, rotten foundation. But his own sexist confession wasn't even his only move. He immediately shows us his other core tactic. The Kody Brown special. He has to find a villain. He needs a scapegoat so he can be the hero. He can't just be a guy on a team. He has to establish a narrative. And he sets his sights immediately on Jussie Smollett. He starts muttering about tabloids and second chances. And I need you to see the pattern. This is what he does. This isn't about morals. This is Kody trying to find the one person in the group the public might hate more than him, so he can align himself against them. He's trying to cast his villain for the season. It's the exact same thing he did for a decade with his wives. He needs a bad wife so he can be the good husband. He needs a Mary or a Christine to be the problem. He needs a scapegoat. He is trying to replicate the toxic family dynamic that he created, but this time with a cast of strangers. He has spent his first day running his mouth. He's told us he's a sexist. He's tried to create a new scapegoat. He has done everything except the one thing he's there to do. He's done all the talking. But the DS, the directing staff, they aren't his family. They aren't impressed. They're watching him. Kody is about to learn in the most brutal way that his manhood is not defined by his mouth. And they are about to give him the first test. Kody Brown is about to learn that in the real world, respect isn't given. It's earned. And his bill is finally coming due. So we've seen Kody set the stage. He's arrived in New Zealand with his manhood mission. He's given his sexist grand speech about men needing respect and women needing love. He's already tried to cast Jussie Smollett as the villain. He's done all the talking. But now, the talking has to stop and the doing has to start. And this is where the sister wives bubble officially bursts. This is the part I've been waiting for. This is where Kody's performative patriarchy crashes headfirst into a world that does not care. And it happens, you guys, in the most perfectly Kody Brown way possible. It's the climax of his arrogance. After one of the first brutal physical challenges, the recruits are exhausted, they're cramping, they're trying to recover. Johnny Manziel, a Heisman Trophy winner, a professional quarterback, is struggling. He's in pain, he's trying to breathe. And Kody sees his opening. This is his moment to be the leader, to be the patriarch. He gets right in Manziel's face, and he starts coaching him. I'm not kidding. Kody Brown, the man whose primary cardio for the last decade has been running his mouth and driving between houses, starts coaching a professional athlete on how to breathe. He's telling him, think of something special. He's getting him to breathe in through your mouth and out through your belly. You can see the look on Johnny Manziel's face. It's this perfect mix of annoyance and confusion. He is looking at this 55-year-old reality star with the wild hair like, who are you? It's squirmy. It's condescending. It is the most cringe-worthy moment. And it is a perfect miniature of Kody's entire personality. This is the man who lectured Janelle about her finances right after he spent all their money. This is the man who coached Christine on how to be a good sister wife while he was abandoning her. He cannot help. He can only dictate. He doesn't know how to be a teammate. He only knows how to be the boss. He just will not stop talking. He's narrating everything. He's bossing everyone. He's trying to take control. He thinks he's helping. He thinks he's finally earning that respect he's so desperate for. He's performing for the cameras. He's performing for the DS. He's performing for the manhood mission in his head. And the directing staff, the real leaders, the men who have actually been to war, have been watching. They are not his wives. They do not have to sit there and placate his ego. They don't have to sweetie him into silence. They see a liability. And they finally do what Christine, Janelle, and Mary have wanted to do for 30 years. One of the DS gets right in Kody's face, and he screams at him. He tells him, shut your fucking mouth, just like that. It's not a discussion. It's not a request. It is a command. And that's the last warning. You get a jolly ride home. And in that 1 second, Kody Brown just shatters. You see it. His mouth snaps shut. His face jerks. The patriarch is gone. He's just a recruit who has been silenced. For the first time, Kody is put in his place by an authority he cannot challenge. He cannot gaslight them. He can't threaten to drive away. He can't blame them for their bad attitude. He just has to take it. He has to shut up. It was the moment Sister Wives fans have been waiting 18 seasons to hear. It was pure, unfiltered, beautiful accountability. But that moment, you guys, it's just the beginning. His mouth has been shut. Now we get to watch his actions. And his actions prove that his sexist comment from day one was not a mistake. It was a mission statement. We see it in how he interacts, or more accurately, how he doesn't interact with the women. This cast is full of absolute powerhouses. We're talking Olympic gold medalists like Shawn Johnson. We're talking world-class athletes. And Kody, he ignores them. He doesn't see them. In his mind, they are not part of the real competition. They are just women. They are there to be loved, not respected. He only engages with the men, like Manziel and Smollett. He's trying to create his little boys' club, his patriarchy in the barracks. But it gets worse. It's not just that he ignores the women. He actively refuses to listen to them. And it costs him. In a team challenge, he is grouped with Teresa Giudice and Brianna LaPaglia. They have a mission. They have to make decisions as a team. And Kody, true to form, just takes over. He steamrolls them. They are trying to tell him what to do. They are trying to follow the instructions. And he just talks over them. He doesn't listen. He knows better. And because he refuses to listen to the women, his team fails. He is the direct cause of their failure. It is the sister-wives dynamic in a perfect, contained experiment. He cannot function with strong women. He sees their input not as help, but as a challenge to his authority. So, his mouth has gotten him humiliated. His sexist worldview has made him a failure in team challenges. All that's left is his manhood, his raw, physical, impossible strength he came to show his kids. So how does he do? Well, he's not a total disaster. He manages to rappel from the helicopter. He's afraid of heights, but he does it. But that's about it. In the real grunt work, he is completely, painfully average. He fails the very first challenge, hauling heavy bags up a hill. He fails the boxing match. He fails the damn rappel because he can't remember the simple code he was given. He fails the submerged airplane challenge. The failures just keep piling up. This isn't the conquering hero he imagined himself to be. He's not the alpha. He's just a 55-year-old man who is in way over his head. For a narcissist like Kody, being average is a fate worse than death. He would rather be the worst and have an excuse than be just another guy. And so the excuses start. We see him do it. He starts fake wheezing. He admits it himself. He figures if the DS think he's at his absolute limit, they won't push him any harder. He's performing weakness. He's managing his image. He's the same man who almost died from a 99-degree fever. He's not there to find his limit. He's there to curate his limit. His mouth has been shut. His philosophy has been proven to be a failure. And his body is not living up to his ego. He has been totally exposed. Kody Brown is not a leader. He is not a warrior. He's not even a good teammate. He's a talker. He's an excuse maker. And the DS, the men who are trained to find the real weakness, have seen enough. They've shut his mouth. Now they're coming for his head. The physical test is over. The real test, the emotional and psychological one, is about to begin. And Kody is not ready for it. So, the moment has finally arrived. This is the climax. This is the part of the show where all of Kody's talking, all his posturing, all his manhood speeches finally get put on trial. He has been humiliated by the DS. He has been a failure in the team challenges, especially the ones with women. He has been exposed as painfully average. And now, the DS have seen enough. They've broken his mouth. They've broken his body. And now they are coming for his mind. This, right here, is the execution. It's the psychological part of the test. The interrogation. This is where the DS, men who are trained to find the real emotional core of a person, bring you into a dark room and strip you bare. They are not his wives. They are not his kids. They are not a tell-all host he can charm. They are professionals. And they have his number. They sit him down and they go right for the jugular. They ask him about the one thing Kody has spent his entire life avoiding: accountability. One of the DS, Rudy Reyes, looks him in the eye and asks, "Do you feel that you're taking your proper responsibility in the fallout of your kids?" And just like that, the manhood mission is over. We are at the raw, burning center of Kody's entire failure. And Kody does what he always does. He deflects. He squirms. He says, "I don't want to admit I'm wrong sometimes. I don't like being wrong." It's the understatement of the decade. This is a man who destroyed 4 families because he cannot be wrong. But the DS, they don't let it go. Mark Billy Billingham cuts right through the bull. He says, "You're concerned about everybody as long as they sang to your tune. As long as they agree with everything you believe in. I don't think you're being honest with me." My jaw was on the floor. This is the line. This is the truth that Sister Wives fans have been screaming at their TVs for 18 seasons. And it's not coming from an ex-wife. It's coming from a man Kody is desperate to have respect him. And it just breaks him. Kody's whole facade just crumbles. The tough guy is gone. The patriarch is gone. He just becomes this small, broken man. And he confesses. He looks at them and says, "I'm the discrepancy. I should have had a stronger relationship with my children." He's finally saying it. But the DS, they just keep digging. They ask him why. Why has he been so resistant? And this is where the tears start. This is the full-blown breakdown. Kody Brown starts to sob. And he finally tells the truth. He says, "My failures were because I didn't know ST about being a good dad and husband, and I thought I did. I really thought I did. And I hated being blamed for it. And so it made me resistant to ownership." There it is. He hated being blamed more than he hated being a bad father. He just admitted it. His ego, his pride, his image was more important to him than his own children. He was resistant to ownership because in his mind, owning the mistake meant he wasn't the man he pretended to be. He wasn't the hero. He wasn't the patriarch. He was just the discrepancy. Rudy Reyes looks at him, all this emotion pouring out, and he delivers the final coldest line. He calls Kody's mindset very adolescent. Adolescent. Not a patriarch. Not a king. A teenager. A boy who is allergic to responsibility. And Kody, crying, just nods. He says, "I'll take that." He is completely and totally defeated. This is not a man proving his manhood. This is a man having his manhood surgically removed by professionals. This is the public death of the Kody Brown we all knew. The interrogation is over. Kody is spent. He has been stripped of his arrogance. He has been stripped of his excuses. He has been stripped of his authority. All that's left is the raw, adolescent ego that the DS exposed. But the show isn't over. He doesn't get to just quit. They don't let him leave. They make him stay. They send this hollowed-out man, this exposed nerve, back into the game. And now, a new Kody emerges. A Kody who is no longer the patriarch. We see it immediately. He's not the leader anymore. He's not coaching anyone. He's not running his mouth. He is quiet. He is submissive. He's just a guy, number 4, trying not to get yelled at. He's been humbled. He's been humiliated. He's been broken down, and now he is just waiting. He is waiting for the inevitable. He's waiting for the moment he can finally go home. And his exit, when it finally comes, is not a bang. It's not a blaze of glory. In one of the final challenges, he's just done. He can't do it. His body, which he's been fake wheezing his way through, finally gives out. But more than that, his mind is gone. The DS have already taken his why. They took his manhood in that interrogation room. There is nothing left for him to fight for. And so he quits. He fails the challenge, and he is gone. It's the most anticlimactic ending, and it's perfect. He didn't go out as a warrior. He came in talking about manhood, and he left because his feelings were hurt and his body was sore. He came to the desert to prove he was a man. He leaves the desert as the exact man his wives knew. A talker, not a doer. A performer, not a patriarch. A man who, when faced with real accountability, just breaks down, cries, and waits for a jolly ride home. He's gone from the show. He's back in Flagstaff in Robin's arms. But the experiment is over, and the results are in. The world didn't see a leader. They saw a fool. And now we have to ask, what does this mean for the smoking crater of his life back home? Hi, friends. So he's gone. Kody Brown, the man who showed up to prove his manhood, has officially left Special Forces. He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a hero. He was just a 55-year-old man who got called adolescent by a real soldier, cried about his failures, and then went home. And now, we have to talk about what this all means. Because Special Forces was never just about a reality show. It was an experiment. It was a controlled environment. It was for the first time Kody Brown completely removed from the shields he has hidden behind for 30 years. There was no Robin to run to. There was no Janelle to blame for the finances. There was no Christine to blame for the bad attitude. There was no Mary to blame for the drama. It was just Kody and his ego, in a room full of strangers and professionals. And what did we learn? We learned that Christine was right. We learned that Janelle was right. We learned that Mary was right. We learned that his children were right. This show was the ultimate public validation that they were never the problem. Think about it. The DS, the men he was so desperate to impress, diagnosed him perfectly in 48 hours. They told him to his face, "You're concerned about everybody as long as they sang to your tune." That is the exact complaint his wives and children have had for a decade. We watched him, on day 1, give his sexist speech about men needing respect and women needing love. And then we watched him get put on a team with 2 young women, Gia and Brianna, and he did exactly what he's always done. He steamrolled them. He refused to listen to them. He talked over them. And because of it, his team failed. It was the sister-wives dynamic in a perfect contained bottle. He cannot function with women he cannot control. His failure on this show is a direct public mirror of his failure at home. He came to prove he was a man, but he was exposed as the adolescent the DS called him. He came to prove he was a leader, but he was exposed as a bossy talker who had to be told to shut your fucking mouth. He came to prove his strength, but he was exposed as a man who, by his own admission, faked a wheeze to perform weakness. The experiment proved, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the common denominator in all of his failed relationships is him. But this, you guys, this is the most important part. This is the Kody Brown special. After all that, after the crying, after the interrogation, after the humiliation, you would think he'd finally get it. You would think he'd come home humbled. But he didn't. In his post-show interviews, he's already rewriting the narrative. He is already building his escape hatch. He's already giving himself the out. He said, and I am quoting him directly, "I was messing up quite a bit. But it wasn't because I wasn't physically fit. It was because I wasn't mentally fit." Do you see what he's doing? Read that again. I wasn't mentally fit. That is the excuse. He's not saying, my character is flawed. He's not saying, my arrogance is my poison. He's not saying, I am a narcissist who can't listen to women. No, he's saying he just wasn't in the right headspace. He's treating his fundamental character flaws like a sprained ankle. It's the Kody Brown special. He always wants a do-over. He wanted a do-over with Mary. He wanted a do-over with Janelle. He's still angry he didn't get a do-over with Christine. He doesn't want to fix his mistakes. He just wants another chance to win. He's telling us that if he just had a redo, if he was just mentally tougher, he could have aced it. He's learned nothing. That man who cried in the interrogation room, who admitted he didn't know side about being a good dad, he's already gone. That was a performance to get the DS to stop yelling at him. Now, he's back to managing his image. The accountability is gone. The adolescent is back in charge. We've seen him blame his wives for his unhappiness for over a decade. Now we've seen him fail spectacularly in an environment without them. We watched professionals strip him down to his core and find the exact same broken, arrogant, and selfish man his family has been telling us about for years. And even after all that, his first instinct is to blame his mental fitness and angle for a redo. So I have to ask you, after seeing him completely exposed on Special Forces, after watching him get called an adolescent by men he respects, do you believe there is any scenario left where Kody Brown can ever take responsibility for his own failures? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments.